So today our topic is Python variables. So as we have discussed earlier, Python variables are containers of some values. So if you want to save any kind of data like name, age, phone number, address, whatever we want to save, we need something which will store it. In Python, it's called variable. Not in just Python, in every programming language, it's called variables. Variables means changeable, a name, a container which can be changed with time, with data, with any kind of action we take. If you uh, save a number of 2, then if you add plus 2 in the number, then the value becomes 4 in the next way. We will discuss it further. For now, just have the best understanding of what variables are. So variables are just container of storing data values, as we have discussed. As, as we have already done this kind of stuff where we have saved some stuff in our variables. So X is variable. You can use any name, anything uh, to store a data. So we will discuss how you can give a name to it, because there are many rules and regulations while giving names to your variables. Just for now, of your understanding, you can use any word, any letter to store any data. So in our case, we have store x in 5. We store 5 value in x, which is our variable, and John in our y. So you can see that we have two variables x and y, but here is a better way of understanding it. Like we have two variables x and y, but if another person came to it and they only see the x and y they are printing, and they go getting the value of 5 and John, so they will never understand what this means. So for better understanding, we use meaningful names for our variables. So we can use age or any kind of stuff, age, height, which has any meaningful thing. When we store it in our when we store any number inside a meaningful variable, it becomes more meaningful. If a developer is analyzing or watching your code base, then they will pretty much understand what you have done. Like in this case, if I give the variable name to name, so it become more meaningful. Now when I call age and name, it's now meaningful for us what are these things are. Like the 5 is our age and the name is John, so it's more easy to understand. So in uh, further we will be moving on in depth of this concept. So just for now, to for your understanding, we can create variables like this. We just have to give a name to our variable, like a channel channel name. If I want to give, I can use uh, channel name is equal to, we have to put double inverted comma or single inverted comma to store any variable which contain any text. So if I give it a copy paste, and if I give channel name, what should be its output? What will be the output? Comment down below so I can understand that you understand. Here is a big error. Why it's happening? Because when we are going to give more complex names, we have to follow some rules and regulations which we are going to discuss. Just for now, you never use minus sign between two names to just um, merge. For merging, you can use this for dash to merge the words, merge the names of variables. Yeah, you can see that now it's working. You never have to use the minus sign, because in Python it will be misunderstood by the backend that you are subtracting two variables. So this is the case you have to understand. It's just a basic concept, but in a coming up section we will be discussing them in more depth. So now we have two things. So we have to implement each of this stuff so you can understood in better way. So if you have a variable which storing value 4, it's okay. You can use any letter you want, but misunderstandingly you have used the same variable in below lines of your code to store another data type's value. What will be the answer? What will be the output now? In programming, when you have any variable like x and you have give it some value of 4, and after few moments, after few line of course, you again initialize the value x with the value of 7, which is a text. What will be the value of x now? Let's see. And its value will be now Sele. Why it's happening? Because our values are override, because in programming things will run from top to bottom and it will be updated if they get new values. If you have earlier another variable which storing a different data type or different value, and below that you are storing another value in the same variable, it will override the first the value you have stored in the variable. And that's because we have different value and we just override the value for any, it's now not counting. And what if we just cut this and paste it below, and if we run this, what will be the answer? The answer will be 4, because it's running from top to bottom. First time the variable x value is selling a text, but when it's run below the next line, the x is going to have a value of 4, and when we printing the value of x, now the value of x is 4. So that's why it's happening. So you have to know why it's happening and why you have to do that. And now we have to talk about casting. If you want to specific data type of variable, this is done with casting. Like you, it's not important for now, just for understanding. We have 3-4 data types in our Python programming, and one is string. String means text, and we don't write the full form of string. We have to write the first 3 letters to get understanding of what we are mentioning. And in this case, what is happening? The 3 different variables having different values. However, it seems like same, like if we think it's only storing 3. So 3 is in the first case, it is a string, means it's a word. Like if we are going to see what the data type of it, um, type of x. Let's see it. Is it I have written right or not? Let's see. I think it was wrong. Now maybe it's right. If we don't know, we just go to ChatGPT and give it to it, and it will. Yeah, you can see that we have written right. You can see that our this variable data type is string, means it is a letter now. However, we can see that it is a number, but in programming it just changes data type. You can have numbers in your text also, like you are writing an essay. I am Mohammed, I am a 20-year-old student, and in this sentence the 22 is a number, but you can have the number in a text format. but you can't have tags in a number format. Did you have listened that we count with A, B, C, D? We never do that. We count with 1, 2, 3, so we can see the quantity. The letters will never give us the quantity value, but the numbers will. So here we use string to change the data type, and we are mentioning a specific data type to the variable 3. In case of variable x, what will be its data type? Its data type will be an integer. Integer means a number. So you can see that its class is integer, means it is a number. However, we know that integer and floats are same. They both are number, but the float contains a decimal numbers. So every number is a decimal number in float, but in integers there will be no decimal numbers. It will be round off numbers of what we are giving to that. So it's not showing the data type of z, but we know that it is a decimal now and it will be giving some value of decimal. However, if we put this float, you can see the float means decimal number, so we don't have to write that again. So hopefully you have understood how we can give a specific data type to each of our values while storing them. Now it's time to have to learn how to get the data type. We have done already and we have explored this stuff. You can use type to see what is the data type of the variables and the things. And if we give that, you can see that the x value is integer and second value is string. So hopefully you have also guessed right, but if you don't, you can run it and see what the value is. It's taking time, but we know that already the x value is integer and the y value is string. You can see that. So single and double quote, as we have discussed that we can both use single quotation marks and double quotation marks, still it works same. It will doesn't affect, but if you are using double quotation in first, you have to end with the double quotation in last. If you don't, it will may show some error. You can see that we have run this in single quotation mark. It's still working same as we have double quotation mark. So it's always same as you use single or double quotes. Our Python variables are case sensitive. What is the meaning of that? Means of that, if you have x and you have capital X in the next line and you think that I have stored x in small 5 value in small x and I have just overwrite the value of x with John. If you think that, it's not. In Python, if you have small letters and if you have capital letters, both are different variables. Like if you have small and if you have greater capital letter, these both are different variables now. So you have to know that why you should focus while giving variables names. You have to see, you have to focus, you have to have the knowledge. You should have the same capitalization or naming of the variable should be same. If it's capital or it's small, it will change its variable. And in this case, you can see that we can see both A's are same, but if you have capital A and you have different small a, then both variables are not same. They have stored different values. So The capital A will never override small a. You have to know that. You have to get better understanding of what's happening. So hopefully you have understood what are the Python variables. We will be diving in depth in the next section where we will be discussing the variables names and other stuff in depth. So stay tuned with me. So as we have discussed that there are many rules to name a variable. So here we can use these rules to name any variable you want. So for naming any variables, you have to consider few rules. The rules are a variable name must start with a letter or underscore character. A variable name cannot start with number. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric character and underscores a minus a to z and 0 to 9 and dash underscores, you can say that. Variables names are case sensitive. Age is not equal to age which has a capital letter A and A which contain all the letters in capital. So these three variables are different variables due to their capitalization of letters. So a variable name cannot be any of the following keywords which we are going to discuss. So first of all, we have to see the rules, the fixed notation which we have to follow to name any variable in our Python programming. So if you have any variable, the variable should all contain all letters in small, and it is applicable, and it is a rule that if you use every letter in your variable is kept smaller, then it's okay. Like if I have a city name, then it can be small. It can be small letter, and we can print, and it will doesn't show any uh, issue with our stuff. So let's see it. If we printing city name, it's telling us it's a Karachi and the variable is perfect. So what we have done, we have merged two things to word in a single way, and it is still little confusing, but we will have some solution for that, and I will tell you the solution also. And city name and all the letters are in small. It is a rule that if you use every letter small in your names of variables, it is okay, and it is first rule that everything is if we in small, it is applicable. Then we have another thing which underscore. So you have a letter variable and you want to make it more understandable. So if any person come to your website and any other stuff, if they see city name, they might be confused. But if we put an underscore, now it is more understandable and it is more easy to understand, and it can be differentiated by anyone that it is a city name. So in the second thing, if we have Lahore, then if we put underscore, what will be the answer? Right, the answer will be the Lahore, because now this is a new variable. Having same things but just putting an underscore between the two letters makes the variable different from the first variable. So use underscore whenever you need to make separate sense of your each word in your single variable name. So here you can use, if you have city name, big city name, big city name. Now we have three letters in our variable name, so we can differentiate them by using variable with underscores. So now we have different different way of writing variables. This is a rule second. You can separate any variable names with underscore. Now here's the third way. You can put underscore at the beginning of any letter. So if I put city name and underscore before it, and I've put this starting with underscore is also applicable in. So in Python, we can start any variable name with underscore. It is also a rule that you can start any variable with underscore, and you can put underscore between different word to merge as a variable name. So it is going to be implemented and it doesn't show any error in your program while running. So here is another way to write any variables you want. If you don't want to use underscores between your variable name and you just want to understood the different word in same variable name. So if I start the first word with small, and when starting the second word, the first letter of the second word will be the capital, and it will be also applicable because this is also a rule that if you want to separate and want to see a different word in your variable name, you can start the word with the capital letter, so it will doesn't show any error to you. So it is a different variable now. Each variable has same words, but we are writing in different way. This is called Python cascading. Cascading? No, cascading naming convention. I'm sorry for missed. Yeah, we can start the next letter with capital, and either we can start both new letter with letters with capital letter, and it will be Kelvit. So if I put this is a different letter variable now. However, each variable names are looking same, but their arrangement make them different. So if I want to have in the first of starting of the variable series naming series, we have started all the letters with small. Now we will do all these letters with capitalization. So you can use either all the all the mm, all the letter with capitalization or all the letter with small letters. You can put underscore between your words. You can start with underscore. You can have a capitalized word after first word of your variable. You can have both words starting with capital letter in your same variable name, and you can have all the letters capitalized in your variable name. This is the sixth way you have to write variables name in Python. Now let's explore what are the illegal or which will cause an error while declaring a variable. You should not start with number. It will display an error in your program if we put here, and if we run this, it will display an error because it is a bad practice to start a variable name with a number. It will display an error to you. Also, if you put minus sign between your words, it will also show an error. And if you put space between your words, it's also not applicable. It will also display error in your program. So you should avoid 100% these three ways of writing variables. Instead, you can follow these six ways of writing variables. So let's dive deeper into the section and learn how to have better variable names. Multi-words variable names. Variable names and more than one word can be difficult to read. So here we have some techniques. We already have discussed that you can have first word with all small letters and the starting other variable name will be start with capitalization, and it's called camel casing. Camel casing is a technique in which you start first word of your variable name with small, and other words will be starting with the capital letter, first capital letter of each variable, each word in your variable name. So you can see that the first word in our variable name is small, and the next one variable is capital, and other new name is greater. Like if I have um, uh, our school teacher name. So in this case, you can see that our first word is starting with small letters, and the next coming up word containing first letter capitalized, and each of the new letter joining with a variable name containing first letter capitalized. This is a camel casing technique which you can use in your programming for longer variable names, which makes sense and which is applicable while running in your programs. So let's see, it's telling us it's John, and it's understandable. Now the time is come of Pascal casing. If you have just the first letter also capitalized, it's called Pascal casing. In Pascal casing, every word should start with first capitalized letter. So it doesn't care about how much how much uh, word you have in a variable name. It only applicable that if you start with each word with capital letter, it's called Pascal casing, and it's also applicable. And if we see that we doesn't have this variable right now, if we run this, it will say John, and it's just because we are using Pascal casing. However, it's up to you. You can use camel casing and Pascal casing. We also have a snag casing case, which is each word is separated by an underscore character. So if you are separating each variable name with underscore, then it will be snag case. You can also use this to make your variable names understandable. So we have learned camel casing, in which we each word except the first start with capital letter, and in Pascal each word start with a capital letter, and in Snag each word is separated by underscore character. So this is the way you name a variable. Let's move on towards assigning multiple values.